Hi, I'm Jerry, an Associate Cybersecurity Project Manager in CloudSign. In this video, I'll be speaking about how our WebOrion security suite can provide the assurance in the era of cyber warfare. The Russian-Ukraine conflict has been in the headlines for a while now, and as of 13th of March, the war has entered its 16th day of fighting since the conflict began on 24th February 2022. Russian forces have continued a slow but gradual advance onto the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. Over 2.7 million Ukrainians have fled the country since the Russian invasion, and it is unknown how long this conflict will last. The Russian incursion into Ukraine has led to a conflict that involves not only the physical but also the cyber domain, with hacking groups of differing allegiances launching cyber attacks on government, military, financial, and telecommunication websites. From the onset of the Russia-Ukraine conflict in 2014, Ukraine has been subjected to a series of high-profile cyber attacks on national infrastructure industries and government websites. These attacks, which have long been suspected to have Russian involvement, have escalated to over 150 incidents in the lead-up and ongoing military operations in Ukraine. Some of these incidents include website defacements on at least 70 government websites, including the exploitation of outdated CMS, DDoS attacks on Ukrainian financial institutes and government websites, destructive wiper malware which corrupts the MBR of system hard drives, rendering them unbootable, as well as decoy ransomware being deployed alongside wiper malware to confuse and divert incident response teams away from the real damage being inflicted from the wiper malware. As you can see in this slide, you can see an image of a banner that several Ukrainian ministry websites were defaced with. The Kremlin officially approved the list of unfriendly countries and territories on 7 March 2022. These include, but are not limited to, the US, the EU nations, as well as Singapore, Japan, and Australia. There's potential for a Russian retaliatory cyber attack on non-Ukrainian entities. Website owners worldwide, even non-Ukrainian aligned, are strongly advised to assess whether their organizations fall within the attack scope, so that you can carry out the necessary risk mitigations and reinforce your security posture. Another concerning observation is the growing involvement of hacktivist organizations on both sides of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, who, unlike their state equivalents, have greater autonomy to attack overseas targets and further their respective states' agenda under the guise of anonymity with minimal ramifications. Hacker groups such as Anonymous and Free Civilian have conducted their own operations by performing DDoS attacks on Russian websites and claim to have sold compromised Ukrainian citizen data, respectively. Hacktivist groups may extend these malicious activities worldwide by the indiscriminate targeting of entities and their websites worldwide. Our response as CloudSign is to strengthen your security posture using website protection, monitoring, and restoration solutions. The WebOrion Security Suite is an all-in-one web security and performance suite powered by innovative patented technologies and know-how. It provides countermeasures against web hacking, for example, ransomware, black hat SEO, web defacements, and so on. As Gartner says, prevention alone is futile. With the WebOrion Security Suite, there can be assurance that attacks on your website will not only be prevented, but it will also be protected and restored in the slim chance that a web defacement has occurred. The WebOrion Security Suite follows the following framework: protect, detect, respond, restore, and review. And the products included in our security suite will cover this framework. There are three product offerings in the security suite: the WebOrion Protector and Accelerator, a web application firewall that protects your websites, the WebOrion Monitor, which monitors your website for any web defacements performed, and lastly, the WebOrion Restorer, which in the event of a defacement will restore your website to a previous state that is both visually pleasing and usable by your users and site visitors. The WebOrion Monitor uses patent-pending technologies to monitor your website 24/7 against threats such as web defacement. So how does it work? It uses an intelligent-based learning process to effectively whitelist regions of the page to be monitored and identifies elements that could potentially lead to frequent false positives. Once the baseline has been processed, the WebOrion monitor will begin its monitoring work on your website. You can choose to monitor either specific regions of your page or the entire page itself. In the event that a web defacement has occurred, the WebOrion monitor will then proactively send alerts and notifications to you as frequently as every 5 minutes so that you remain updated on the status of your website. The WebOrion monitor has 6 engines that can be activated to monitor your website with. The HTML content analysis engine, where your URL is analyzed in granular detail looking at its HTML elements. The advanced integrity engine, which automatically checks your HTML elements on both your web server and your external files. The image analytics engine, which renders your web page into a single picture and analyzes it for any defacements. The deep learning and NLP keyword engine, which increases our detection capabilities based on well-known hacker keywords and entities over the past 10 years. JavaScript malware detection engine, which detects cryptojacking and card skimming malicious content on your website. And lastly, the SSL DNS Whois monitoring engine, which looks out for DNS hijacking, DNS poisoning, or DNS redirection attack. The WebOrion Restorer provides for secure replication and backup of your website without the hassle, with instant website restoration in any event of a hack. This is opposed to traditional backup problems. It is manual and resource intensive, and it may take weeks before a website is restored. It requires in-depth knowledge and analysis of the web platform and server architecture to create a complete backup and restore solution. Lastly, there are risks of unfixed security vulnerabilities, and attackers may exploit the same vulnerabilities if the root security issue is not fixed. Here comes the WebOrion Restorer. It is not a traditional backup system, but a first-stage restoration capability as a quick countermeasure response in an event of a web attack incident. It is a one-button, quick-time response and secure countermeasure mechanism, which restores minimally your web presence and at the same time prevent a repeat compromise of the website. It also has a quick response time within minutes of detection of an unauthorized change in a website, content, or integrity, as detected by the WebOrion monitor. It is also bulletproof against web threats and attacks during this interim period when a replica is used. This is because it runs on a security-hardened, Unix-based operating system with no backend connection to databases or sensitive applications. Web app vulnerabilities are stripped off during the secure replica creation process. Lastly, it provides time for your security team to conduct forensics and remediation on your compromised server. In conclusion, there are still unseen consequences of the war, both physically and digitally, and this could spread beyond the shores of Russia and Ukraine. There is a need to be proactive to protect ourselves before it is too late. There are 3 P's that I would like to leave with you. Proactivity is key, prevention alone is futile, protection is necessary. As mentioned by the 2018 Global CISO of the Year, Stefan Napo, he says, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and few minutes of cyber incident to ruin it. Act now and be proactive in taking preventive and protective measures to protect your website.